Evening. Happy New Year to y'all. I'm gonna be asleep at the strike of midnight. I'm going to be asleep. I'm tired as hell, but I had to come on here and talk about this real quick. And what I want to talk about is who is this entity that calls itself Allah? Who is that? What is that? Okay, I think this is going to be quite an interesting conversation that I want to have with y'all about this entity that calls itself Allah. Hmm. I want to know who it is. I want to know what it is because so I know that this sounds like a far-fetched conversation. Sorry, y'all, my internet did not go out. I have better internet actually now. Okay, so let's talk about the entity that calls itself Allah that's not actually Allah. Okay, now I bet y'all thought I was gonna come on here and bash Allah. Nope, I love Allah. Okay, but what I wanted to speak about and I want people to pay attention to is that there are quite a few entities that call themselves Jesus, Allah, God, Yahweh, and none of those entities are those gods. Okay, hold on. Sorry about that, y'all. I had to go to the toilet real quick. Okay. So I'm not saying that Allah is not real. I'm not saying that Jesus is not real. I'm not saying that Yahweh is not real. But what I am saying is that what I have come to the conclusion through observation and behavioral science that I do not believe that a lot of, especially these black men in America, I don't believe that they are actually communicating with these particular entities or gods. I'm sorry, gods. I don't believe that a lot of them that call themselves Muslim, I don't believe that they're actually communicating with Allah. Okay, I don't. I think it's interesting. My significant other, I love to sit and listen to him talk about the Quran. I love to sit and listen to him just talk about what he studied. Do I really believe that he is connected to Allah? No, I don't. I don't think that most of y'all are. Just like I don't believe that a lot of y'all are connected to Jesus. Just like I don't believe a lot of y'all are connected to Yahweh. Hey, Stefan. especially when it comes to Muslim, though. We talking about Allah. Luckily, my man doesn't know my YouTube channel, or he would be pissed about what I'm talking about what I'm about to talk about. But I have literally, for the past 4 months, been trying to save the man that I love from an entity that calls itself Allah that is not actually Allah. Ain't that something? It's an entity. It's not Allah, the creator of the heavens. That, and I can't tell him that, right? I can't tell him that. If I were to tell him that, it would start an argument. Okay. He would literally curse me out and probably stop speaking to me forever or for a long time until he realizes that the entity that he is speaking with is not Allah. It's very, very scary. He hasn't been violent with me or anything like that, so don't worry about anything like that. But I just noticed that um, a lot of you folks that believe that you're talking to these certain gods or deities are not actually speaking to them at all because of some of the things that they are instructing you to do. But in particular, when it comes to people that are not Muslim, you're not born, you're not from where are Muslims at whatever country, you're not even from that country. You're from America. You're not talking to Allah. You're talking to something else. That's a fact. And because Allah is going to protect you from certain things. What I have noticed is a lot of these people that are supposed to be under these religions are not protected from possession of spirits, are not, I'm talking about malevolent spirits, very malevolent spirits that are leading them to death and jail. Okay. I've noticed that a lot of them, like it's more than what people know. That's just like my significant other. He prays 5 times a day. He's Muslim, right? He prays 5 times a day. But I'm the one that does all the work for him that he needs. At the time that I met him, he was right there at the crossroads. And you know what? How do you tell somebody that? If I were to tell him that, he would divorce me again. If I were to tell him that, like, hey, dude, you're not talking to Allah, you're talking to something else. If you were talking to Allah, Allah would be able to, like, and I want to tell him I'm the one that is protecting you from evil spirits. I'm the one that's doing that. I'm the one, not Allah, is doing that. Okay. And I'm not Muslim. Okay. I'm a witch. However, whatever that entity is that is on a lot of these men that are supposed to be Muslim, it's not Allah. It's a very malevolent spirit and I'm gonna tell you because I'm the expert here. Okay. I'm the expert. If you have not, if you're not a divine feminine and you don't have the capability of giving birth to a child, you are not an expert. So sit down. I want all men to sit down. You are not an expert, hon. You are a male, okay? And you need to start listening to the woman. And see, this is a problem, and because okay, first of all, I believe that these different cultures, those are their gods. So I respect Allah. I actually love Allah a lot, okay? I've actually worked with Allah several times to help me on some things, okay? To assist me with bad jinn before, okay? So I know what I'm talking about. I can tell you if you are speaking to Allah or not. And I can tell you that many of you guys are not. It is an entity that you are communicating with that is more than likely feeding off of you energetically, pretending to be Allah. When you talk to certain gods, you have to have, there's certain things, like, for example, when I tell you guys to open your Sahas Rara, that comes directly from Allah, Jesus, Yahweh. Okay. For some reason, it wasn't put in y'all's book. For some reason, it wasn't. I don't know why it wasn't. That is not Allah that you're talking to that is confusing you. That is something that hates you. Allah loves all. This is a very loving God, right? Okay. You're not, and it's, you know, so a lot of y'all women can probably relate to this. Okay. To what I'm talking about, these men and these man-made religions, okay? Because a religion is a religion. A religion is not God. A religion is a doctrine. It's an indoctrinated belief. How do you really know that Allah has a problem with witches? Me and my significant other have gotten into discussions before, even arguments. We've had arguments over it before, trust me. Okay. So, you know, and what do you do? What do you do when somebody that you love and cares about is under possession by an entity claiming to be Allah and it's not Allah? What do you do? As a witch, as a woman, what do you do when that happens? You're gonna have to do something, you know? We don't do no half stepping when it come to love around here. You're gonna have to save that man, that person. Not just the man, but anybody that is dealing with an entity claiming to be something that it is not. Okay. I'd say as a witch, my advice would be to, yeah, I'd say as a witch, my first go-to would be to my own personal spirits, is what I'd say to do. Because clearly whatever that entity is very destructive. I just thought y'all should know that. Like, oh, Then I want to talk about this fog that's supposed to be killing people and making people sick. Y'all hear about that? Guess what? It's only making people sick who live in certain realities. If you live in a reality that you have created, then can't no fog kill you. Seriously, look it up. Now, I distinctly remember it was about a week and a half ago, I think. I went outside when I was at the extended stay. I went outside and it was foggy. It was foggy outside. Did the fog make me sick? No. In fact, the fog was actually very healing. So, why is the fog healing to High Priestess Jamila, but then again, it's killing and making people sick and giving them symptoms? What's up with that? So, you know, yeah, we gotta do something about that. And a lot of you men, I'm gonna have to have a hard conversation with my significant other about this entity that claims that it's Allah and it's not. And you know what? It's like he's pushing me to say it to him. It's like he wants to hear it and he's got to hear it. A lot of y'all men, y'all need to start listening to the woman, okay? For real. Otherwise, you're just going to fuck up your life, right? And then do what? You're going to have to be reborn and come back over into this world and do it all again. You're just going to keep repeating the cycle over and over again. Whether or not you do right or wrong, you always come back to earth. You're earthbound no matter what. Okay? It is what it is. Your soul is connected to the earth. Okay? Yes, you can save somebody that you love from someone who is possessed by entities that's calling themselves Jesus, Yahweh, and Allah. Now, Allah is God, right? That's who Allah is. There's an entity claiming to be Allah and claiming to be God that is not. That is a false God. Allah is, I'm not saying that Allah does not exist. I'm not saying that. That's somebody else's culture, their religion. So, of course, yes, God, the Most High, the Creator, that does exist. But there's entities that are telling these males that they are that entity, or I'm sorry, that they are that God or deity, and they are not. That's just all it is to it. And I realized that. I realized that, you know, I did after dealing with, especially after dealing with a Muslim man. Like, just FYI, my man is Muslim. I know y'all like, what? Good luck with that one, Jamila. Yeah, I'm going to need it. He's Muslim. Hmm. And he's very problematic sometimes, but he's worth it. I've actually been sitting here trying to figure out ways of just getting him to give up the religion altogether. Like, and I guess if you want to call that corruption, then you can call it corruption. But he need to be corrupted away from that because he wasn't born into that religion. And I just, in my humble opinion, I don't think it's a good match. I don't think that he's necessarily equally yoked with that. I think that what he needs, yes, you can pray during meditation, but he needs meditation 5 times a day, not prayer 5 times a day, because his prayers have already been answered in every single way. What are you praying for 5 times per day? Okay. How do I talk to him about this? He's gonna look at me like I'm crazy. He's probably, and he would be like, "Woman, get up out of my face." That man would be so pissed if I came at him like that. He would be pissed off at me. He would probably stop talking to me for a very, very long time. But I would tell him, hey, listen, I'm only telling you this because I love you. You have got, if you're going to really, like, because it mimics Allah, and it had me fooled at first. But then I realized that's not Allah he's communicating with. Who in the fuck is he communicating with? It ain't Allah. And I told him that, you know? Okay. It just is what it is. Well, I didn't tell him that. I kind of tried to tell him that, and he kind of gave me this look like, be quiet. And so I just got real quiet. But I'm telling y'all that I know what I'm talking about. That is something weird about that. In fact, when it comes to God, why would God need for you to only love and serve God? Why? That's not God. That's ego. That's a man made construct. God does not function that way. You know where Allah is? Allah is in the moon. Allah is in the dark moon. Allah is going to be in the sun when it rises. Allah is in Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn. That's where you're going to find Allah. What does it take for you to learn that? The devil, Satan. It takes Shaitan. They call Satan Shaitan. It takes Shaitan to actually show you who the fuck God really is. That's who it takes. Why? Why? Because a lot of people are not mentally and emotionally stable enough to even connect with God. Most people are not. So it takes what? A great deal of grounding. Where are you going to get that grounding from? You're going to get the grounding from the underworld, the underbelly. You're going to get it from Satan. You cannot find God without Satan, right? That's what they don't put in y'all books. They're not going to put that in the Quran or the Bible. And that's a fact. Now, am I going to stand in front of a bunch of Muslims and say that? Can I actually say that to my significant other? Is he ready to hear that truth? That simple truth? No, he's not, especially from a woman. If a man told him, he would be okay with it. As a woman, I can't tell him that, because if I tell him that, he's going to get very upset. If the Quran said it, which it should say it, it should say it, but it doesn't, because somebody that wants to control you does not want you to actually find God. If you're actually able to find God, then they're not able to control you. How do they control you? They control you mainly through the crown chakra, your Sahasrara and your Ajna, the upper chakras, the two upper and the two lower, but mainly the two upper. And most people's crown chakra is closed. So you're not going to find God. You're going to find everything in between that is false. And that's a fact. Okay? And it takes a witch to let you know that. Because yes, witches, why would witches not believe in God? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, and that's why I can't stand religious people when they say, oh, what, she doesn't believe in God. Like, of course we believe in the higher power or source of all. Of course we believe in that. Why wouldn't we? That doesn't even make any fucking sense. And y'all go through hours and fucking hours and fucking hours of trying to torture witches constantly. You know why? Because you really don't want to know God. If you really wanted to know God, you wouldn't quit. You would not keep pussyfooting around and fucking around, because you scared of God. So you do everything in your fucking power to avoid it. And that's a fact. Okay, that is a fact. Just thought I'd come and tell y'all that real quick for New Year's. Okay. All right. Let me go. I gotta go. Time for me to fall asleep to finish watching this movie. Y'all have a good one. Okay. Y'all have a good one. Sadly, my channel is flagged, blacklisted. So nobody ever fucking hears the truth. And I don't need everybody to hear the truth, because most of y'all, a majority of the world, will never know the truth, will never actually know God, and will never ascend. They'll never ascend. In fact, what a lot of us are witnessing on this earth is de-evolution. Is what a lot of people are experiencing. Yeah, well, and you know what? Well, Stevan, I'm in touch with all of the gods, including Allah. And Allah is the one that gave me this wisdom. Allah said that is not me. Because I went to Allah about the man that I love, and Allah told me he's not talking to me. He's talking to something else. Period. And he'll be pissed off if he hears this live. Oh my God, he would be so fucking mad at me. He ain't gonna do nothing crazy, but he would be very upset with me, like to the point where he'd be like, "I'm done with you," and I'd be like, "No, you're not." And he'd be like, "Yeah, I am." I'd be like, "No, you're not. You're not done with me." Okay, but he would, he wants to be done. A lot of y'all men are always Stefan laughing at me. A lot of you men, boy, y'all want to be done with women, but you can't be done with the woman. And the reason why you want to be done with the woman is because the woman is the one that shows you God. And why y'all so scared of God? What y'all think y'all gonna die if y'all see God? Or if y'all touch God? I think it's fear of death. It's ridiculous. I wish a lot of you men would listen. This is the reason why witches can be with religious men. Let the woman do her job, which is showing you the light. Can't no man teach no woman about spirituality or God. Y'all get that from the woman, period. And I know there's a lot of women out here that, I know the pickings is slim as fuck. I already know. It's a lot of women that ain't really women out there. So, you know. And I'm not talking about transgenders. I'm talking about very, very unenlightened women. Is what I'm talking about. Okay. But a woman like myself is going to tell you the truth. That is the truth. You are not going to find God without Satan. You're not going to find it. Not going to find him, her, whatever you consider, whatever gender, because everybody always wants to focus on gender. So, um, just know this, that it's an entity that's calling itself Allah, not Allah. I've talked to a lot of women about Muslim men. And when my man told me he was Muslim, I was like, "Oh God, here we go." you know. Most Muslims are not communicating with Allah. They're communicating with an entity claiming to be Allah. And that entity is man, not God. It's man. Okay? And man cannot be God. Can't do it. Unless you're going to turn yourself into a bunch of planets and the fucking stars and quasars and galaxies. You are just a man, just like I am just a woman. And here's one more thing before I go. I keep having to explain to people. Let me pause this real quick. I keep having to explain to people that I am a witch, but I am still human. I am a woman. See what I'm saying? I'm still human. Just like you're a man and you're human. Okay. All right, that's pretty much it, y'all. I'm sleepy. I am not staying up till 12. I'm going to bed. Y'all have a good night. Have a happy new year. Y'all be safe. Blessings. Bye.